thing on off? Okay.
Okay. Andy, we're good? Brianna, ready? Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Clovis City Council, Clovis Unified School District Governing Board, our joint meeting. We have these once a year, and the meeting called to order for Monday, October 13th, 2025 at 6 p.m. At this time, I would like to welcome our school board president, Yolanda Moore, to lead us in the flag salute. And if you are able, please stand and join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Yolanda. Next, if our clerk, Brianna Parr, can you please do roll call? We're going to have roll call for both boards.
Yes. Councilmember Ashbeck? Here. Councilmember Baskell? Here. Councilmember Bessinger?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Pierce?
Here.
Mayor Moana-Tua?
Here.
President Yolanda Moore? Here. Vice President Fogg will be absent. Board Member Autry, absent. Board Member Olivier? Here. Board Member Hashimoto? Here. And Board Member Madison? Here. And Board Member Combs Flores is absent as well.
Okay, I know that we just had roll call, but we're going to go ahead and just go around the room and do formal introductions so that way our citizens can recognize everybody here at the table. So we'll start with School Board Member Tiffany Stoker-Madsen. Whatever else you want to share, it's open. We're going to, can you turn on your, just so that it's the little, yes. Thank you.
There. My name is Tiffany Stoker-Madsen. I have served on the Clovis Unified School Board for, this is my 7th year, I believe, and I've really enjoyed it. I have 5 children that have gone through the district. I still have 2 in the district. And I myself am a product of the district. I went to Lincoln, Kasner, and Clovis West. So my heart is with Clovis Unified.
Hi, my name is Clint Olivier. My name is Clint Olivier, and I am the Fresno member of the board. I hope that doesn't get me in trouble in this room. But I come from Herndon and Fruit. And the school site that's far west out there is Nelson Elementary, and that's where our 2 boys go, 6th grade and kinder. A lot of people don't realize that over 40% of Clovis Unified students reside in the city of Fresno. And so, yeah, it takes me half an hour to get to board meetings, but I'm happy to be a part of this great organization and all the good things that they're doing.
Well, good evening. I am Yolanda Moore. This is my first year of my second term on the board, and I am now enjoying it. I have 3 children. 1 graduated from Clovis High. I have a senior this year and an 8th grader. I am in Clovis. It takes me 5 minutes to get to board meetings, but it's a pleasure to be here with you guys this evening.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Wilma Tom Hashimoto, and I'm actually a native of Fresno. I moved to Clovis in 1985, and up until just last year, I moved to Fresno for a very good reason, is I wanted to be near my new granddaughter. But I still live in Clovis Unified School District, and in fact had been an educator for 28 years. And recently retired from Casa of Fresno, Madera counties 2 weeks and 1 day ago.
I counted down when it was coming. Now you're counting opposite.
Pleasure being here.
Go ahead.
My name is Corinne Fulmer, and I have the distinct honor of being the superintendent for Clovis Unified. And it's a joy to be here and to get to serve our community. So thanks for having us.
Andy Hausler, City Manager for the City of Clovis. Love our community and love serving you all.
Matt Baskell, Clovis City Council member. Used to be the police chief, worked for Clovis PD for 29 years, and this is my first term.
Hi, everybody. Lynn Ashbeck. I'm the longest-serving council member. Not trying to follow Harry Armstrong by a long stretch, but doing my best. I've been a council member since 2001. Love this job, love this community, and love this joint meeting of ours more than most things we do here. So I think it just speaks to the quality of our community. So thanks.
You got to have the last word?
I would have to have them.
Okay. Drew Bessinger, retired captain from the police department, was with Clovis PD for 22 years. I've lived in Clovis since 1984, and I had 2 cougar kids. That's all I have.
Diane Pierce. I have the pleasure of serving Clovis as Mayor Pro Tem. This is my first term, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be the voice of the people of this great community.
And I am Vong Monatua. This is my 3rd term on the council. I'm just happy to be able to live here in Clovis, and all my kids have attended Clovis School. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for the introductions. We're now going to move to presentation of proclamations. The first one here is the presentation declaring the Clovis on Tour as the official children's book of the city. And to read this proclamation will be Councilmember Lynn Ashbeck.
Thanks. Okay. Well, I can't explain the joy that comes in reading this, so thank you for letting me do that. So, this proclamation declares Clovis on Tour the official children's book of the city of Clovis. Whereas in November of 2023, I'm not going to read about myself, the city of Clovis began work on a children's book to highlight the history, landmarks, and values that make Clovis unique, emphasizing themes such as resilience, gratitude, community, and hard work with the intent of preserving our history and exposing young people to the important people and milestones that make our city great. Whereas the book Clovis on Tour, connecting kids to the story of their hometown, reflects the values of Clovis, including supporting one another, honoring veterans and farmers, staying healthy, solving problems, bringing people together, remembering important moments in history, and appreciating the service of police officers and firefighters. And whereas the city partnered with the Clovis Unified School District, Clovis Community Foundation, Clovis Rodeo, Clovis Community Medical Center, Clovis Veterans Memorial District, the Old Town Clovis Museum, and other community partners who contribute to the creation of this book. And whereas this book will be placed in every 3rd grade classroom and elementary school library within the Clovis Unified School District, visual aid on the table over there, you have to take those with you when you go. And whereas the city also partnered with local author Susie Harder, founder of Authorable and writer of several children's books, and will silver medal Olympian and Clovis High School graduate Jenna Prandini, who was raised in Clovis and remains dedicated to promoting children's health and fitness, along with her father, Carlo Prandini, and her sister, Chrissy Prandini Wilkin, who also contributed to the book, and mom, who contributes to everything. Whereas proceeds from the book will benefit children's health and fitness initiatives while inspiring young readers to explore the city of Clovis and become an official City of Clovis tour guide. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the city of Clovis proudly recognizes the creation of this children's book as a celebration of the city's history, values, and community spirit, and extend its gratitude to all partners and contributors whose efforts have made this project possible. And it is signed today by the 5 of us up here, joyfully. Yay!
And if the author, Susie and Jenna, your father, if you guys like to say something, please come to the podium. We have proclamations here signed, and we would like to hand those to you. Our clerk will prepare those.
Excellent. Should we do that first?
Oh, talk first.
Yeah, just speak, and we'll
We'll
bring it
get
to
you.
you.
I don't want to get in the way of your. Jenna, come on up and stand here. The book that you see here has been something that's been important to our community and to Lynn and our group for almost 2 years now. And the very first meeting we had when Lynn brought me in and we were thinking through, okay, what are the true messages that we want in this book? We had about 43 listed. And we're kind of like, okay, well, we need to narrow that down. So the three that really stand out to me that I'm so proud of when I hold this book and the meaning of it to our community are history, values, and gratitude. And when I think of history, that's really what the initial goal was, is how do we get kids excited about the history of Clovis? And the natural tie-in was third grade, because that's where they're learning local history. And so we created an extension program where kids not only are reading about it, but they are creating their very own tour and talking about the history, talking about the places that are important. And then that leads into the values. And anyone who knows me knows that any project I do, whether it's as a clinician or an author, is so heavily rooted in values. What is it that we're wanting to tell kids? And so you'll notice on each page, not only is there a place that's important that they'll recognize, but there's a value statement. And a few of my favorites, and starting here, because we have Clovis Unified here, there says, Clovis is known for its great schools. Round of applause for Clovis Unified. Just like teachers do every day, we show up for each other. We're a team, we cheer each other on. And one of my other favorites is the rodeo page, and we have our little mutton busting kiddo who's saying, and we hang on tight when things get tough. And so we have values that are built in, history that's built in, and then that leads us to gratitude. And the very first time that Jenna and I talked about the book, what came just so effortlessly was her gratitude for the community and the support. And I won't steal her words, but as I'm thinking about gratitude and all the people in this room that have been part of creating this, Lynn and Chad, lots of meetings. My family, the Prandinis, Clovis Unified, so many people that came together. And I think that's the message, right, that we get to share with kids is things are great when you get to come together and do it well. So the last thing that I'd like to say is as one way that we get to encourage kids to share gratitude, there's a signature page in the book where they're encouraged to go around and gather signatures from everyday heroes around the community. And so if you can picture a third grader currently in Clovis Unified right now, maybe Weldon, who had the assembly today and got to meet Jenna and got to see the book roll out, and then they're joining us for Clovis Night Out on Saturday, and they get to kind of journey around. They'll get their book signed. They get to do the trolley. They get to have all this. They get to come back. Their library has a signed copy by both Jenna and I. The third grade classrooms have signed copies. And then they're making their tour. They're getting their certificates. And then they get to show gratitude. And in this kind of that moment that I picture is, it says, with a smile, let them know you appreciate what they do for Clovis. And so tonight I would like, with a smile, to let you know how much I appreciate all that everyone does for Clovis.
First, I want to thank Ms. Ashbeck for allowing me to be a part of this book. When I first found out about it, my sister kind of told me, you reached out to her, and she told me the vision for it. And immediately I was like, yeah, of course, I would love to do this because Clovis is the core of who I am. And I've been away for like 15 years now, and every time I come home, it feels like home, and it's so amazing to be back. And growing up, Clovis means so much to me, but it means so much to my family. It means so much to my older brother, my sister, and now I have nieces and nephews in Clovis Unified. So to be able to create something special to show how much our family cares about the community and to make something cool for my nieces and nephews to read and all the kids in Clovis has been amazing. And so I just want to thank everyone here for allowing me to be a part of this. Thank you to my family always. They're my rock. But also, I kid you not, when I'm traveling around the world, competing in all different countries, something that's always brought up is where I come from. And for some reason, they always see the clips of when I'm at the Olympics. They'll see like clips of my hometown and people cheering for me and the signs and all that stuff. And everyone thinks that's so amazing. And I've always been very grateful for it. But every time I'm asked about Clovis, I get so much pride, and it's just always a reminder of how thankful I am to have such a supportive community, because there's a lot of people out there in my position who are doing even more amazing things, but they don't have the support that I have from their community. So thank you everyone for supporting me and making Clovis an amazing place for myself and my family.
We have some signed resolutions there.
Thank you.
Would the council or anyone on the school board like any comments?
Can
In
I
the
just say
council,
one
yes.
thing? So I actually can't believe this is here. We started this idea, it was a long time ago. But I have to say, I'll probably cry. In all the years I've had the privilege of serving this community, I think I'm the most proud of this story because it is why we are special. And I always have said, I don't want our kids to grow up thinking that the heart of our city is a Starbucks, with all due respect to Starbucks, or a mall. But it's so much more than that. It's the values that we hold, it's the traditions that we all carry, even remembering people that have served before us. That's how we got here. And I just feel really, I feel incredibly lucky that we can tell this story. I don't think another city in California has a story written by someone who lives here, about someone who grew up here, to talk about why it's so special. So there aren't any words really to describe all of you sitting over there. So Jenna, thank you for allowing us to feature you in this super great book, and watching you inspire kids every day, and now kind of forever through this book. For Chrissy, we started this, we thought it would be kind of easy, but it really wasn't that easy. And we had so many conversations. I remember sitting on a curb on a vacation in Cayucas. Okay, wait, we could do it this way. But we got it done. And so I think, you were just a super great advocate for it. And Carlo and Teresa, thanks for stepping in and having such a great family and sharing it with us. But it really is just, I think it's just such a great testimony to how we got here. And to Susie's family, who probably wondered, what were you doing, Mom? Thank you, Hudson and Allie and Brian. We appreciate you very much. So anyway, really proud of this day. And I think we collectively should celebrate that we have the kind of place to write a story about. And thank you all for being a part. Thanks. Yeah, thank you.
Chad, let's get a photo. Where should we stand? Let's get everybody.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. Do you need us to stand? Okay. Let's all stand. Yeah, school board too. We're together.
You what?
Yeah, it's gonna be in your libraries.
We'll talk later. Yeah. We're accepting donations to pay for more. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah. The book will go on sale on Clovis Night Out on Saturday. Okay.
I got my moments.
Okay. Yeah, we'll slide down. Are we scooting back? Everyone? Oh, no. Okay. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Stand on tiptoes if you can't see me.
Thank you. I do want to acknowledge on the record that Mr. Brian Wilson, you were the one who brought this forward to ask that we consider having an official book. So thank you very much as well, Brian. Okay. Next, we're going to move to the presentation by Miss California, Rachel Axt, on her Miss America pageant experience. So Dr. Adam Smith and Rachel. It's your turn. Love to hear about your journey, Rachel.
Good evening, everyone. For those who may not know, prior to winning Miss California, I actually represented Clovis at our California State pageant. I was very honored to represent this small town. At the time that I won, I was working in Clovis Unified as a paraprofessional. I am someone who loves special education. I've made it my life's mission to be an advocate and a voice for children that don't have one. Currently, I am a resource specialist in Fowler Unified, but I'm looking to one day come back to Clovis Unified, so I'm not done yet. But I was really thankful. I was really thankful for this experience of representing our wonderful, small, but historic and mighty town on such a big stage as Miss America. To be from California and to say that you're from industry, education, agriculture, California is very odd. I had a lot of girls asking, well, hey, aren't you from like LA or something? No, my friend, I am from the Central Valley, and I am so proud of it. I was born and raised in Fresno County, but I have truly grown into being a Clovis girl. In fact, I live over by Clovis East, so go Wolves. But in all honesty, one of the most amazing things about being at Miss America is being surrounded by like-minded women and knowing that you are on the same playing field as everybody else. While I was there was not a single moment that felt like I was in competition with anyone. In fact, I was there striving to be the best version of myself, and that's something I take into my classroom with me. When I'm working with my students, I am not looking for perfection. I'm looking for them to work with me and practice those skills that will help them be functional members of our community one day. Another thing about being at Miss America is I came back so inspired to hit the ground running and to continue improving this community. Like we're saying, Clovis is a community that helps each other, and I want to have a hand in that. One of the things I'm looking forward to doing is working with the Northern California chapter of the American Heart Association in providing more publicly available AEDs in our parks, on our trails, anywhere we can put an AED that can be life-saving to someone who needs it. On top of that, like I said, one of my life's missions is to work for children with special needs and giving them the voice that they don't have and giving them opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have. Clovis Unified does a wonderful job of this, and I will be so honest, this is what inspired this idea. Clovis Unified has an adaptive sports clinic that they do every few months with students in Clovis Unified with special needs. It's wonderful. I got to go many, many, many times with my classroom, and the job that our occupational therapists do is fantastic. But that's something I want to implement in our community and make it more broad, make it accessible for children who have not yet entered Clovis Unified, or for children who live in the Clovis area but are not attending our schools, because this is an opportunity that all children should have. Again, very, very thankful for the job that Clovis Unified does. We are such, you are, I still say we, oh, I'm coming back. You are such an inclusive district, and to see that upheld is wonderful. That's why I chose my community service initiative, the ABCs of Acceptance, because I see how important acceptance is in this community. I'm just very proud to be standing here in front of you today, coming off of this experience and ready to hit the ground running. If there's anything you need of me, fun fact, I sing the national anthem almost everywhere I go. So you have my information or my amazing director, Adams. Please let me know, because one of the points of the Miss America crown is service, and that is what I'm here to do this year.
No, I had the distinct pleasure, I think Board President Yolanda and I were both on the panels, and we were part of listening, interviewing all the women, and then doing the actual scoring. Yeah, she was. And so you represented us so well. You're beautiful, you're smart, and so eloquent. And so we are just so proud of you as a city, as a school district. And so congratulations, and good luck to whatever you're going to go next, and then whenever you're back in Clovis Unified. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Smith, for bringing. Please come forward. Mm-hmm.
Can we hire her now?
I know.
So I just wanted to say thank you for the community of Clovis to elevate young women like you've done for Rachel, and you can see why she won Miss California with how eloquent she is. Miss California 2026 will be June 13th through the 20th, and I can't say anything publicly yet, but rumor has it's coming back to our town.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. Any comments from the board? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Rachel, for visiting us this evening. Next, we're going to move to public comments. Okay, public comments is a time for members of the public to address the city council and your school board on items that are not on our agenda but is within our jurisdiction. If you can limit your comments to 3 minutes, please state your name and address for the record. If you would like to address our board, you do so. Step up to the podium.
Eric Rollins. I live on Ashcroft Avenue in Clovis. I've attended probably 25 meetings for Clovis Unified and many more than that now for our city council. I think both are kind of independent governments. They're both part of what makes Clovis special. And I was really pleased to find out, I found out a couple of years ago, it's the first one I've attended where it's a joint meeting. But I was very pleased to see that you're working together. If you don't, we have a problem because you both provide very important things to the city of Clovis. So I just want to say thank you for coming here tonight and spending this time.
Thank you, Eric.
My name is Marcos Rodriguez Morillo. I live on 8665 North Cedar Avenue. I live in Fresno, but I go to Clovis Unified. And as a student, I'm wondering about aid and going into college, and just wondering about how, because I know the government shutdown came in recently, and I'm wondering how that will affect federal aid. I don't know if you guys have any jurisdiction over that, or scholarships or anything that has to do with that, but just some general advice would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Marquez. And maybe during our comments, maybe someone may be able to address, and if not, Marquez, our superintendent will, if we can't address it, then we can also take your name down so that way she can direct you to the proper person. Did you want to say anything right now, Dr. Fulmer?
Can you just tell me what school you attended? Thank you. I'll follow up with you, Marcus. Thank you.
I'm Christopher Flores, and I'm a student of Clovis West. And as a student, I've noticed there that a lot of people prefer water rather than milk, but milk is served more often with lunches. Well, if you want water, you have to pay for it. I was wondering if there was any way to make water more accessible at Clovis West. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Christopher.
Hi, my name's Magdalena Orellana, and I'm also from Clovis West. And what I was wondering was, so there's, it's very difficult to get Tylenol or not like get access to Tylenol or allergy medicine to some people, because maybe getting a doctor's appointment or anything like that. I was just wondering if you could make that a little more accessible.
What was your first name again?
Magdalena.
Magdalene. Thank you.
Hello. Excuse me. Hello, Lorenzo Rios, CEO of the Clovis Veterans Memorial District. I wanted to come over and say thank you to both the school board and the city council and the city staff for outstanding support. Most recently, we had the wall that heals, a 3/4 size replica of the Vietnam Wall. It arrived here on the 7th of October with an incredible reception, over 120 motorcycle escort, and we had outstanding support from the Clovis Police Department, the cadets, the fire department, the parks. Mr. Bashir's was absolutely incredible to make that possible, and so I just wanted to express my gratitude. Also wanted to communicate how we had Clovis Adult School, Clovis Junior High History, and the Cedarwood Elementary, who all took advantage of the tours that were made available. And it was wonderful to see the students and the administrators. And on the welcoming Cedarwood, I have to commend. They went out above and beyond. We had schools out that they came out and supported, but Cedarwood had the double gold star. It was amazing to see what they did to welcome the wall. The second thing I wanted to bring up is the 80th anniversary of the Memorial District is underway, and you're going to see us collecting stories of our community that capture how the Memorial District has touched the lives of our community. And the Memorial District is an incredible example of how great things happen when many hands are involved. And that's another example. Expect to see more activities coming out. And the third thing I wanted to bring up is January 3rd, we will be working in collaboration with members of the Hmong community, and I will be reaching out to both the school district and city staff in hopes that we can have a collaborative approach and recognizing January 3rd, which was the beginning of a relationship between then Colonel Belair and then Colonel Vang Pao that resulted in a relationship that ultimately brought a community here that has made Clovis even better, and we're going to be celebrating that story. So we hope to leverage a relationship as we welcome the Hmong community and open that relationship to the full public. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
Good evening. My name is Steve Trevino. I live on Bullard Avenue. If I could, I'd like to make three quick statements. The other evening, I had come here and I was walking home, and I was walking by the police department. Beautiful lights on the flags, pink lights, very pretty. But in the bottom, there's a little space there. And one thing that really bothers me about City of Clovis, if you walk by the Veterans Building, they got beautiful flowers, beautiful roses, beautiful different kind of flowers. Why can't the City of Clovis have something like that? Especially in front of the Clovis Civic Center sign, there's a space there. It would be nice if there was flowers there, you know? And second comment, I was reading the Fresno Bee this morning, and they were talking about the park that's in Loma Linda. I never go out there. But they were mentioning that they're going to have swings. And I was under the impression that parks and schools no longer have swings because a few years ago, a young child fell off the swing and died. I don't remember. I think it was local. I don't remember the exact thing. And then thirdly, last week, it was a very interesting meeting here last week. And I find it very interesting that the councilman was mentioning, and also the attorney for the city of Clovis, how there's a lot of things that they can't say when there's meetings like this because of the Brown Act. And I've been coming here for a year or two, and I didn't know what the Brown Act was until I started coming here. I never heard of it. And so I think that would be a good idea if you could have your kids, the ones, I can't think what you guys call it, the kids that come here, if they can do a YouTube video explaining how the city council works. Because a lot of us, I mean, we don't know. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know anything about the Brown Act until I came in here one day and I went home and looked it up on the internet. So I think that's really important. So anyways, thank you very much.
Thank you. Always great suggestions, Mr. Trevino. Anyone else?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Ken Smith. I work at College Point Health Science University as Assistant Dean of Enrollment and Student Affairs. I'm here to look at ways we can collaborate more together to help educate young people in the Valley to understand that they could be medical doctors in the future. And one thing I know in my time working in higher education is that there's not many places in America that has a medical program in their backyard. And we have one here. So I'm trying to figure out ways I can do more to help educate young people in Central Valley to see themselves as being doctors. So if I can work with the school board more often, I'd love to do that at the same time as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you can leave your contact information with our city manager and superintendent, and they can follow up.
Thank you.
Just,
Thank you.
Real
Yes, go
quick,
ahead.
Dr. Smith, I had asked him to come in and speak tonight as
Okay.
well too. We work together, so I told him this would be a great opportunity to be able to come in and introduce himself and to push what California Health Science University is doing for our community, being the, okay, here's the plug, the medical school that represents the city of Clovis. So thank you for coming in and speaking, but he's looking to do amazing things here in our community. So if anybody's interested, go see him, and he'll help you get started in medical school.
So I'll put in another plug. So we love the medical school. We are grateful for that you being here. But a couple of years ago, I talked to the population health class, and my idea was that medical students help make sure Clovis is the healthiest community around. So if your students are looking for projects in the community, I think trail markers and some of those sorts of things that could help us be ranked as the healthiest place would be super great. So I'll put in a plug for that too. Since we're putting in plugs, I'll put in one for that. Thanks for being here.
Yes, go ahead, Drew.
Since I know Matt can't do it, I want to thank the Assemblies for putting a medical school in the city of Clovis. It was a big investment. They took criticism for that, but it's a great thing that our kids don't have to leave the state or go to the Bay Area or down in the LA basin to go to medical school. And we have a law school right over here, so we can have doctors and lawyers, and the Health Sciences University has other professions that they're teaching. So this is a great thing. The young man was talking about education. Clovis Community College is free. You go there. I'm a junior college guy. I went to junior college in Santa Barbara, got my AA, was able to get my general education done, and then I went to Fresno State part-time. So we have a great community college here, part of a great community college system. Education and health, these are huge things, and we have them right here. Plus, we have Miss California.
Thank you, Drew. Is there anyone else from the public who'd like to address our joint council this evening? Okay, Sina, we're going to close that. I do want to say for the students, for Marquez, Christopher, Magdalena, thank you so much for coming. I think to get young people to start to engage, whether it's your teacher telling you to come as a project or you just wanting these changes. And if you ever forget, if you come here, we will direct your comments to the proper, and likewise, if you were addressing your school board on a city matter, they will most likely let our city manager know as well, because we both work very well together. So thank you for coming out this evening and joining the sort of your civic process, okay? Going to move now to our agenda items. We have 6 items, and these are for discussion and to report out. And to members of the public, if you have any comments after each one, we will go ahead and open the public time for you guys to ask any questions on the items that we will be discussing. The first one is partnership on parades, buses, bands participating, and presenting on this is Clovis Unified School District.
Yes, so we put that on there. I just wanted to highlight, because I do think this is a great opportunity for our community to know the partnership between the city and the district. And a huge thank you to Chief Fleming, who has reached out in terms of using our buses, which is great for us to get to showcase. I will tell you, our transportation team takes great pride in how our buses look and getting to showcase, but it serves a purpose of additional safety for when we bring our communities together. And I just wanted to extend a thank you. Our bands and our performing groups work really hard. If you live anywhere near any of our schools, you hear them regularly. And it's because they just have such a sense of pride, and it's a passion for them, and we appreciate their inclusion in your events. I know it's a great way for them to showcase, and I will do a shameless plug. We just recently announced last Friday that Clovis High Band has been chosen to participate January of 2027 in the Rose Parade. Oh. And the last time they were there in 1980.
For all your closest friends to go. Oh, wait,
I honestly don't know how all that works,
okay,
but I'll take a note.
And if I could add, we could not do those events if not for Clovis Unified. So it is a true partnership, especially on the security aspects and the entertainment. But we really, truly appreciate you and everything the school district does for our events, and our residents enjoy it thoroughly, and they're safe.
Any comments or questions from the
I have a
boards?
quick
Yes.
comment. unintended maybe result of involving our students at a young age in our parades and things like that is I remember participating in it as a little Lincoln Lion, as a little cheerleader, and it gives you a sense of community at a young age and belonging. You have an identity, you belong somewhere, and that I think is part of the reason that the community of Clovis is what it is, because we start young and getting them engaged. So I'm so happy that that is continuing.
Any other comments? Okay, I'm going to open up public. If you have any questions or comments with regards to this item, this is sort of our collaboration for parades. Okay, seeing none, we're going to close that. We're going to move to item 2, evolve security at large-scale events in Clovis Unified School District. And the school district is present on this one as well.
So I'm going to have our Associate Superintendent of Business Services, Michael Johnston, come up and just talk about it. But I'm sure you've seen the media coverage. So we have, we piloted at the state meet for swim and dive, just to see how it works. I mean, you have to, it's a full system to just get a sense of this. But with our large events, and I'm proud to say that our football games pull a very large attendance. And so we've done a few extra security measures just to ensure safety at the recommendation of just, best practices along with what we already have. So I'll have Mr. Johnston share a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah, if you've been to our football games lately, you've seen the security devices there. We're pretty proud of increasing security at these events. We have a lot of visitors come to our game and from outside the community, so obviously security is important for us and everything we do in Clovis Unified. We're increasing security measures too, even in our schools with the security film projects that we're doing on all of our schools. It's actually helping to delay the entry through any of those windows into classrooms, into our facilities, which is really plus. So we're securing those rooms too as we look at it. But we looked at this as Dr. Fromler said with our state swim meet. We were processing it for quite some time, looking at what system to use. We went with a system that's called Evolve. It actually is used at SoFi Stadium and many big event venues that actually speeds up the access in the stadium, because that was one of our big concerns, is not to slow down the access into the stadium, because we wanted people to get in there and not be held up in line getting into the facility. This system actually allows for a person to walk through, and I can walk through my cell phone, my keys, and many small items, and it won't even detect those, because it knows those aren't a threat to that they need to be looking for. But if I walk through with a gun in my side or my ankle, it would detect that, but not only because it speeds up the point of entry because it detects that, but also the person that's watching that unit has an iPad in front of them, and they can see that, oh, there's something on their hip, there's something at their ankle, and they know exactly where to look when that person walks through. So it makes that process a lot easier for our teams. Also, it really helps that, that as we've done this, we've also put an officer at every one of those entry points so they can be there in case there's any concerns or someone does have a weapon, that they can be there to address that situation and work through that situation as it comes up. So we're pretty excited we were able to do this and provide this and make our venues a lot more safer. And as we look at people coming into our large events, we have it at La Monica and we have it at VMS. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions of Mr. Johnson?
Any just general feedback or, participant comments, or people don't notice it, or?
We've had some positive feedback from people about, the process. There was some social media posts out there, that you may have seen that, why do we need to do this in Clovis? And there's other people commenting, well, this can happen anywhere. As we've all learned, pretty recently, that it can happen anywhere. So being as proactive as we can, I think, is important. So it was a few negative comments, but supported by positive comments saying we need to protect our community.
That's great. Good job.
I would just say that having gone through that process every Friday night at the football games, it works very well. I mean, you go through, there's not a big delay or anything else, and it's a great system to go through. Now, GoFan, that's a whole nother story, because I can't figure out how to download those damn tickets every week. But just give me a little ticket stub, I'm old school. I got to
no
put a
apps
ticket
and
on my
electronics.
phone.
Yeah.
No, they don't. No, I know. So, but I'm getting myself through it. I'm figuring it out. But anyways, the Evolve system, it really is been a smooth process going through there. So,
we're glad.
it's
glad
awesome.
It's helping. Yeah. Thank you.
It's Matt climbing over the fence because he can't figure out the tickets.
I just hand my phone to the person and go, here, and there's 4 tickets there, and
Yeah.
there you go. Take them off and we call it good.
Yep, that's the best way to do it. Yep.
I'm afraid I'm gonna take them off on accident and get there and not have anything.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Anyone from the public like to have any comments or questions on the security at events? Okay, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Johnson. We'll move down to item 3. It's on e-bikes, scooters, update on communication send down, and report on youth commission projects. So sort of both. And Chief Fleming and Chad McCollum are presenting on this.
So Mayor, if I may, so this item came up at our subcommittee meeting with Clovis Unified, and we've been having staff work on this. I'll let the staff get in place, but appreciate the partnership with Clovis Unified on educating our community on this issue and going forward with a few ideas.
So, my name's Chad McCollum, Economic Development, Housing, and Communications Director, and obviously you know the man in the uniform next to me. So there's been a pretty robust effort underway to educate our community on the issue of e-bikes and e-scooters. We heard loud and clear from Clovis Unified and from our city council that this was an issue that we would like us to tackle. So between the two of our departments, we've been tackling it. I'll talk about the Youth Commission in just a moment and what we'll be doing, but Chief, do you want to talk a little bit more about what your outreach on social media has been and with the media? In fact, even today, there's an interview.
Well, I could have, why don't you come on up here and tell them what you said? We actually did an interview today on e-bikes related to the incident that happened in Fresno this weekend with a juvenile getting injured. This is a huge issue for not even Clovis Unified has brought it to our attention, as well as for the city. Really trying to educate parents. Some of these bikes are extremely dangerous. I mean, 40, 50 mile an hour, speeds with no helmets. We're just bound to have somebody get seriously injured, if not killed. So we've been trying to get out in front of it and put out a campaign to do education. Throughout the summer, we've done a ton of social media with Chad's team, with a lot of media interviews, just trying to educate. I'm excited that the Youth Commission, this is one of the things that they're going to take on. They have a lot of great ideas. The police department, we're going to get behind them with some of our OTS and impound funds to fund some of the ideas they have related to helmets and some flyers and different things. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what the future brings, but it's a huge problem that we're trying to address for sure.
So if you go anywhere in our town, whether it be the trails or the sidewalks, these bikes and e-scooters are everywhere. And they can be a great tool, getting a kid to and from school. They can also be very dangerous. So Brianna Parr, our city clerk, and I have the pleasure of working with our city's youth commission. They're a fantastic group of 21 kids. Clovis Unified produces great children. And these kids are doing a great job getting some ideas together on how to make a campaign that speaks to young people. Because I think maybe we do a pretty good job talking to people our age, but the kids in the Youth Commission may not agree that it's going to be universally helpful. So Brianna and I, we had our first meeting with our Youth Commission last month, and we laid out a couple of different scenarios where they'd be helping with drug and substance abuse issues, mental health issues, and then the e-bikes. So a couple of the items that they suggested were helmet giveaway, hanging flyers on different e-bikes, a campaign on social media that would really speak to the children. Our next meeting is on Wednesday, and there's members of the police department that will be joining the youth commissioners, and they're going to be brainstorming and trying to figure out how do they implement these ideas. Anything to add, Brianna? Okay. If you have any questions, we'll know more in the weeks and months to come, but I think this is going to be a great effort, and again, the kids, they've got this. They've got really good ideas, and they're going to be able to speak to people their own age.
Chad, I was just going to say I appreciate that. As our youth commission that you guys have works to generate some of that social media, we're happy to partner with what we have in access to help further support getting that reach out even further. I think it's, you referenced the situation over the weekend, and those things are hitting home. I'll just say that. And so we're grateful for the support, and we'll continue with our communication as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions for Chief?
I just wanted
Yes, go ahead.
chime in. It was just brought to your attention maybe 2 months ago, 3 at most, and how quickly that you responded, reacted, and had something in place, both between Clovis Unified and with the city, because our youth, it matters, and their safety, and so I'm glad you made it a priority, so thank you.
Any others? Chief, what is the law on e-bikes? Do they have to be permitted or not, e-scooters, or can we create something if we wanted to, or no? Can you just give sort of the legal, what we can do or what you can do if someone is, or is it just like a bike? Or?
I'll wing it off. We had a subcommittee. You want to jump in? Oh, I'm going to jump in.
Go ahead, Corporal O'Brien.
So there's different classes of e-bikes or e-motorcycles, and it's hard for people, particularly parents, for that message we're trying to get out there, to differentiate between them. The primary difference is those e-bikes are going to have like a set of pedals. They're going to have limits on their engine sizes and the maximum speeds that they can go. Then there's different requirements for helmets and age requirements once you get to like class 3 e-bikes. But the things that mainly distinguish them is whether they can be propelled by pedal power versus solely by some kind of electric or gas-powered engine.
Okay. And then my follow-up is, I'm starting to see at least, there's a couple golf carts. Can they pick up their kids at our schools with golf carts and be on our sidewalks and or
so there's there's a lot of different rules as they pertain to e-bikes versus e-motorcycles versus golf carts versus electric or electric vehicles, but they're not qualified as golf carts. There are different registration requirements through DMV for off-highway motorcycles or the electric vehicles. There are limitations. A regular golf cart can't be operated on a roadway or be used to pick up children from schools, but there are low-speed electric vehicles that can be used to pick up children from schools. They're limited in the roadways they can be used on. Under 35 miles an hour, they have to have seat belts, registration with DMV, headlamps, or headlights, brake lights, horns, all of that kind of stuff.
So does the school officer give them the ticket, or do we have to be there to ticket them? Because I see it daily.
Any sworn officer can. So Clovis PD or CUSD PD can cite them if the vehicle is an actual golf cart versus one of the low-speed electric vehicles.
Oh, how do you know that?
And the officers aren't going to know unless they actually go and see the vehicle and can see how it's operated and the roadways that they're specifically being operated on. We do see a mix of them throughout the city.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you guys see it at your schools. I mean, me as a parent just dropping them off, I worry sometimes because they are in the roads. Yeah, and then if they're not, they're on our trails, and then it gets in the way of the bikers and people walking.
Yeah, and they cannot be operated on the trails.
Oh.
The low-speed vehicles, electric vehicles can't be operated on the trails legally. The e-bikes can on certain, the bike trail, but not any other trails, no parks, no sidewalks.
I have a question. How does a layperson like me know the difference between a class 3 e-bike versus, because that's the one that you have to be 16, is that correct?
Correct.
And have a
16 or older, and basically, you wouldn't know just by looking at it. It would take a lot of research ahead of time and identifying specific class 3 e-bikes that are out there. But that's the only one that has an age requirement for it of 16 and older.
But you can't tell just looking at it.
Unfortunately not unless you see it doing at least 28 miles or more than 20 miles an hour down the road.
It's tricky for parents to know.
Well,
I was going to say, I
we,
wonder.
we have Christmas coming up, and there's going to be any number of kids asking their parents to buy them one of these. So if we can at the very least have some type of social media blitz to explain to parents what is legal, what's not, things they need to think about, because I watched 2 young girls on a bike or motorcycle, I'm not really sure, no helmet, and they weren't wearing shoes. And I had to look away because the chill just went up my spine thinking about the bad things that could happen to these 2 nice girls. And I'm happy we're getting out ahead of this rather than responding to a tragedy.
Absolutely.
And maybe to Renee, I mean, is there something we need to do with regards to signage? Or, I don't know if we want to go that far, but where, you know, no whatever on trails, no golf carts. If we can do something like that, I think a lot of people don't know. Like, I didn't know that you just said they can't be on the trail, they can't go on the sidewalks. And so we are very respectful. So as long as they're not in danger, I'm not going to call or report anything. And so if there's something we can do on our trails, Renee?
I just said that to Matt, it's probably time
Yeah.
to update our signs. Because when the signs were made, we didn't have people driving golf carts or e-bikes or e-scooters. It was just motorized vehicles, but what does that actually mean? So I think that's probably a good idea. And we have these wonderful wide sidewalks, which are lovely trails, but they're perfect for a golf cart. So it sort of invites you to go, great, let's just go that way. So I think it is probably time to look at those signs, help the PD too.
Yeah, agreed. Any questions or comments from the rest of the board? Okay, we're going to go ahead and open the public. Any questions of Chief and Chad and Corporal O'Brien?
Brian Wilson, 469 Bergen. I have one question to the police chief. So I've seen this problem for 3 years now, where it's getting farther and farther out of control. How many citations have been issued in the last year for this? Is it a known item? So thank you.
I'll answer that real quick. I have no idea, but I can do the research and get you that information. I think during your interview today, we're also asked how many bikes that we impounded. I know there's a number of them, but I don't know the number on that. But anytime we have an opportunity to impound the bike to make it a little bit more difficult for them to get it back, we definitely take advantage of that.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah,
Thank you,
my name's Steve Trevino. I live on Bullard. I went to elementary school here in Clovis, and back in the old days, and I went to Weldon. Anyways, I remember my dad. I used to have a paper route. Plus, I got a bicycle for Christmas like every other kid. But during that time, the Clovis Police Department used to have little licenses, and I think there were $2 or $3 a year, something like that. But you know something? It was really a good idea, because we got to go to the police station and we talked to the police officer and other people, and during that time, the fire station used to be downtown Clovis. We used to go down there, and it was a lot of fun to go down there, and they put a little sticker on your bike and all that other kind of stuff. And I think that's what the city of Clovis should do now, is require that, or either the school district require that everyone that takes a bike to school have some kind of license or permit. That way it gives them an opportunity to either go to the Clovis Police Department or some kind of authority, and they have a little sticker on there. They know what their name is. They're able to tell them the rules and the laws, and they educate them a little bit. Because I remember when I was a kid, Clovis Police Department used to go to our schools, and they used to tell us about making your signals, and this meant to stop and all that kind of stuff. And so, I mean, I think that's what part of the problem nowadays. I know we're a big city, but when you get the police involved with the kids and with students, you got to have some kind of communication. And that's what scares me today. I live on Bullard, and I see these kids going down Bullard, at 8:30 in the morning, and they're just, and you can't even hear them. People on bicycles or whatever, and they're dressing in black shirts, or you can hardly see them, and you're backing out of your car, especially in the winter when it starts to get foggy, and they're driving down the sidewalk, and all of a sudden you look, and you got to look both directions, because you don't know if they're going to Clovis High School or if they're going to Clark, So it's one of those things that really, it just bugs the heck out of me, And I've been in here before, and I've complained several times about that. So, anyways, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trevino. And Chief, we don't have bike permits, right? That's not in our current ordinance.
You can register your bike, but we don't really do bike permits. But as he was talking, I'm a alum of Fresno Unified, both go Knights. But I remember back Slater Elementary, Fresno PD motor officer coming on campus, setting up his bike, and they had a course set up as kind of a safety course that you rent through, and you got like the driver's license. It was really cool. It's something that I still remember, I don't know, 40 years later, but it was impactful on me, and it built that relationship with the police and the youth. So maybe it's something we should explore doing again in the future.
Anyone else? Yes, please.
Okay, I was listening. I'm just slipping this in here because it has to do with transportation, not the e-bikes. But signage does no good.
Your name again?
Erin Wink.
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
not a public speaker. I get nervous talking
You're
up here,
doing
so
fine.
bear with me. I live outside of Clovis Elementary. Since you widened the road 2 years ago, it has made it dangerous. You have parents literally shoving their kids out on Armstrong, anywhere along there. You can't see exiting the neighborhood. You try to turn into the neighborhood. You've got parents, oh my God, I'm late. I got to pick up my kid. Cut over. I've almost been hit head on. I almost hit somebody the other day because I not see them dart off. They look for a second, and then they run. There is a left sign coming out of Clovis Elementary that says no left turns. So I shouldn't be getting almost hit turning left into my neighborhood because one's all like, oh, I can turn. They make U-turns. I've talked to our friendly neighborhood cop over here, and I said, can I call you on a daily basis? Because I see it on a daily basis. And he's all, well, if you have to, call the top traffic division. But I don't want to bother them every day. So education needs to start with the parents, because last time I checked, the parents have the opportunity to say yes to these things or no to these things. Pure and simple, being a single parent. I told her no more than once, had her pissed off with me. So be it. That's part of being a parent. But if we can't educate the parents, it does no good to educate the children. Driving to Clovis High, I'd rather deal with the kids driving in that parking lot than the parents. I've taken my 3 minutes, so I shall go.
Thank you. Any other questions from the public or comments? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Corporal Brand. We're going to move now to item 4, is City of Clovis Police Department Mental Health and Drug Awareness Efforts. And I think Clovis PD Chief, you'll be presenting on this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you for giving me an opportunity to come up here and speak real quick. I was going to get up earlier just about the buses. The partnership is amazing, and I look back on my phone because I took pictures when we first did this. It was in 2017, so 9 years ago we've been doing that. And we did it in response to, there was a lot of things going on around the world where people were going into large public events and running over people and doing crazy things. So we wanted to make our parades as safe as possible, and something that wouldn't be targeted, hopefully. And so the partnership has been amazing. Without you guys, we would not be able to do it, so thank you. I'm glad you guys are doing the security thing at the events. Hopefully that expands maybe in the future to all events, but it's critical. Again, it can happen anywhere, and we don't want it to happen here in our community, so thank you for doing that. So I'm going to be quick because I'm going to keep this to a couple of minutes. So our mental health program, we kind of talked about this at our subcommittee meeting with Clovis Unified and the City Council about a month ago. Just a little bit about some stuff we've been doing over the last year. We added a mental health liaison officer. So it's an officer, sworn officer position. It's a female officer, Molly Jacobson, that runs that position. She's not in uniform. And we just had a lot of mental health calls increasing over the last 3 to 4 years. And we were trying to take a different, innovative approach. And so Molly presented this idea. So we said, let's try it. And over a 3-year period of time prior to putting this in place, we saw about a 25 to 30% increase in mental health calls. After putting this in place for a year, we've already seen a 30% reduction. Just in following up with people outside of crisis, not going to calls when things are at their highest peak, when we're not going to really solve anything, is really addressing these later with the families, with the individuals affected by the mental health crisis, working with the schools and then the families outside. We've found it to be very impactful. So we're going to keep doing that and hopefully expand it and not overwhelm Molly more than she already is. And I'm glad that this is another item that the Youth Commission has also decided to take on, is how do we better address mental health within our schools and with our youth. And so I think Molly's going to be a part of working with the Youth Commission on that. On drug awareness, there was an opioid settlement agreement. I don't know all the details. About 3 or 4 years ago. So it's kind of been money coming into the city that we haven't utilized. We've been established a position finally for a community service officer to go out and just do drug education within the school district. So that person has been selected. He's currently a dispatcher, and our dispatch center is a little bit understaffed. So until we can hire a few more people, he'll come down and start going out and working in the schools. So we're excited to get that going again. And then one other thing that I hadn't mentioned was part of that opioid settlement. We're able to buy some software that'll help us track overdoses and have a better idea of what's going on within our community. It's also going to allow us to buy the same software will allow our new real-time information center to have a map up that'll display all the cameras. So if a call comes up, it'll pinpoint on the map where it's at and show any cameras in that area that we have access to, and we can go right into them. So we have a lot of city cameras. We also have access to the school district cameras that we can only use in an emergency situation. This system will allow us to integrate them together instead of having to log into the school district system and costing us potentially 5 minutes to get logged in and look at these cameras. They'll be on the same map system where we can click in an emergency situation and look at it in real time. So saving us time, making it a lot safer for the students and for our officers responding. So that's something that we recently just started. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. And that's all I got on those two topics.
Any questions? Go ahead, Drew.
I hope that the Youth Commission and Police Department explores the issue of cyberbullying. Every time there's something good, somebody messes it up. And you have kids that are stuck at home, maybe they're in a bad home environment, and strangers pile on. And next thing you know, we lose somebody because they say, well, why don't you just kill yourself? I mean, there's a cruelty that has been brought out with the internet, because you can say anything you want behind your keyboard. So hopefully one of the elements will be cyberbullying, so that kids will seek conversations instead of hurting themselves.
Any other questions, comments from the board?
If I
Go ahead,
could, Mayor. Many of the investments that the chief is discussing beyond the opioid settlement is because of Measure Y and because of our partnership with Clovis Unified. So I just want to thank the community and Clovis Unified for that partnership, so we can bolster these things and address the challenges that we're all facing, whether it's e-bikes, drugs, mental health, all these things that are critical to our community.
And domestic violence too. We're working on that right now.
Yes, and domestic violence. So these are things that we're really able to invest in our community in a way that we weren't able to just a year ago.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and open up to the public on this. Anyone in the public like to address this item? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close that. We'll move now to item 5, updates on projects and construction. And this will be from our Planning Services Department. Thad.
Good evening. Thad Avery, City Engineer. Give you a quick update for what's been going on in the city of Clovis. If you've been driving around the city this past summer, you realize that we've been working pretty heavily on the streets this year. Mainly around our nearby schools. We've had 2 Cape Seal projects in neighborhoods near 2 Clovis schools, Sierra Vista and Gettysburg. We had 8 sections of the street that we did repavements on that were near schools. Again, this year we didn't have any major street repairs that were adjacent to schools, but we did do a heavy dose of improvements out there on the streets this year. We installed a new signal at Shepherd and Peach, so some of you might have seen that now in operation. Next summer, we're going to be a little lighter. We're not going to have too many major street repairs going on next summer, only about 3 major street sections. But we will have 3 projects that are going to be nearby Clovis East. We are very hopeful that our section of Shaw Avenue between Leonard and DeWolf will be under construction next year sometime. We have been dealing with some coordinations with PG&E and a nearby developer, and we hope that everything is underway, and hopefully, I say hopefully because I've been saying it for a while, but we are hopeful that construction will actually begin next year. We also have the project to do the sidewalk and curb and gutter on the southwest corner of Gettysburg and Leonard, on that corner of the Clovis East site. We've been working with the Clovis Unified staff to minimize the cost of relocating a fence there. So with our communications with Clovis Unified staff, we believe that's going to be going next summer, and we think that's going to be a great project for the school district and the students attending that school. Also at Clovis East, if you drive along Ashland, you notice that there's a constriction just west of Leonard. We're working with the property owner at that location, and we hope to be in a position where we will be widening that street next summer also. So those are some big projects that we should be having going next summer all around Clovis East. We will be a little light on the rest of our projects as far as city capital projects, but we will be having a lot of development going on coming up and in through next summer. Shepherd Avenue between DeWolf and Sunnyside. I'm sorry, Fowler and Sunnyside. I know a lot of people have been waiting for that to be widened. Believe that we were finally in a position where we should have that construction starting spring of next year and going through the end of next year. So that will cause some major traffic concerns. So we're coordinating that with some more construction also going on in the northwest, north of Minnewawa. I'm sorry, on Minnewawa, north of Shepherd. We're also having some major improvements in that area. So these projects are going to be all coordinated together. Hopefully we can accommodate and do little impact, or the least amount of impact, I should say, to the public. I know it will be a little difficult at times. We will also, prior to those projects, have a water line coming up Clovis Avenue just north of Nees. We hope that won't impact the public that much. The road won't be closed, but that's another project going on, probably before the end of this year. With that's the major projects that I have to report.
Any questions for the?
I was just going to say, it just wouldn't be a meeting without the sidewalk across from Freedom. So if that could ever be, will we ever get that sidewalk?
Which sidewalk, I'm sorry?
From Reagan?
Across from, yeah, I mean, not Freedom, sorry, wrong street. Reagan.
That's the
I know.
that's the Ashland project I was talking
I
about.
know,
so.
like I can't imagine. I know, like a book and a sidewalk in the same night, that's like a lot.
It would be lovely. It'd be lovely that next time I come here, I can say that, hey, it's definitely happening.
Because when I drove out to the lovely breakfast that you all had, I drove out Ashland. I'm like, okay, this is a non-starter. So that's exciting.
Yes.
I said to Vaughn, like, that's my sidewalk. That's the sidewalk. So that's super great. I just also want to comment, I think in the kind of in honor of the conversations we've had over the years about the traffic on Fowler and Perrin and some of those collisions out there. We had those meetings, we talked about it. I don't want to lose that. Somebody lost a son and we said we'd be on it. I just don't want to forget that we're on it. And I know as our growth continues and we think about development, I know it's on everybody's mind as we build those school plans, neighborhood plans. So I just wanted to keep it in the space that we don't lose sight of how are we going to manage that interface as we go along. Right. So anyway, thanks for the update.
Well, Thad, you brought up my corner, and so ever since I've been.
We have a corner too. I have a sidewalk. So
and now it's in my district. No.
And my sidewalk's not, and I still care about it. So there you go.
No, I'm glad it's finally, because the last rain, there was a short rain, you walk on it, and it was so muddy, and so I just imagine how the students would be maneuvering that, and if it floods pretty quickly over that little asphalt sidewalk they put, so I'm assuming they're walking on the street, and so that's how dangerous that is, and so for it to, the coordination, thank you, Dr. Fulmer, and your team for finally working, moving the gate, whatever, and getting it done. And it's going to be exciting now that Clovis East will be fully sidewalked around. And then when PG&E did those work, they did an excellent job patching back up the sidewalks on the west side of Clovis East.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they
I
did
know,
a really
I know
good
we
job.
did run into some issues out there while their PG&E was doing their work, but I believe it's all good now.
Yeah. And then just for the school board, if Measure C passes, the steering committee is starting a new pot, which is called Safe Routes to School. So that means wherever you can help us identify where there's a bad crossing and or bad sidewalks, we can work now together. And I think depending on the allocation formula, we will receive a substantial amount of money to help wherever the schools are in this. And it goes to City of Fresno too. So the school district will work with whatever jurisdiction to help the routes to school. And so that's something that please keep an eye on and let us know. And I think the subcommittee, we can, if it passes, then we can start talking more about potential. When it passes.
Affirmative.
Yes, when it passes.
I do have a question. You mentioned that you'll be working on Shepherd between Fowler and Sunnyside, right? So all of our Harlan Ranch community, our Bud Rank community uses Shepherd to Fowler typically. So but they also use Shepherd all the way to Minnewawa. So if we're closing that, then that Fowler Avenue that Lynn just talked about is going to be even more of a highway. What are steps that we can do to slow traffic down? My mother-in-law lives on that street. I go down that street, and it is, people fly down there. Is there anything that can be done to help slow down other than more signs? Are there reflectors on the road that can help?
Unfortunately, probably the only effective way to slow people down is probably enforcement.
Because I do believe that road will get even more traffic if we've closed Shepherd from Fowler and Sunnyside, because they can't go then down to Minnewawa and up.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, even if we tell them not to go that way, it's going to increase traffic no matter what. There is a lot of traffic that goes down that route to get from the Harlan Ranch area to Clovis Unified, Clovis North, and Clovis Community. Yes. Yeah, that is one of our concerns. That's why we're doing our best to make sure we can minimize the length of the closure, because we know that will be an issue.
I actually have an area to put on your radar, I think, again. So the corner of Armstrong and Gettysburg, the east side, and it looks like the developer is starting to pick up some traction with the work that's being done there. There's not a sidewalk all the way, there's not complete sidewalk on either side of the street on Armstrong from Gettysburg to Ashland. So students either have to jaywalk or walk. There's no safe way. They just have to jaywalk. So just wondering what that little stretch, like, is this a good opportunity to be able to get sidewalk put in since they are building homes? And is that the city? Is that the developer?
That you can address that.
Yeah,
right there.
that section, both sides of the street are undeveloped, and we typically don't put in a sidewalk until we widen the street, put in curb and gutter, and have a pathway. The only thing that I could possibly suggest, if we have enough right of way, maybe possibly putting in a temporary pathway.
If I may. So the corner on the east side is being developed. That developer will be obligated. So on the east side of Gettysburg, that will be sidewalked all the way, because I live nearby. The other side, there are a few properties in between that could be a good fix with like the Measure C as an example, unless those properties develop, but it could be a good fix at some point in the future. But we'll at least have the east side done relatively soon.
Yeah.
And the same on Gettysburg. So that neighborhood will have sidewalks at least all the way around, finally in a corner on that side of Armstrong. Yeah, yeah. But you're right, on the other side, there's that a couple stretches along there that are,
Any other questions? Thank you. You also have some updates for construction. Oh, good.
Thank you. Denver Stairs, Assistant Superintendent of Facilities in Clovis Unified. And just a few of our updates. We had the busiest summer of construction in recent history for us.
Why? What did you do?
We had a little project that's kind of finished. Those of you, thank you, that were able to join us for the Superintendent's Breakfast. We opened phase 1 of the Terry Bradley Educational Center August 18th. Many more to come. So we are increments 3 through 6 are still either under construction or almost ready to be under construction. We will be periodically opening additional buildings and or spaces throughout the next couple of years. So thank you for that. Lots of coordination. I need to again say thank you. At the beginning of this project, the city was willing to step up and serve our needs for water and sewer when we were going through a hard time there. And so just that, your willingness to step up really got the ball moving and the ball rolling for what our long-term solution was. So thank you again. Also at Fowler and Herndon, we just completed phase 1 and opened those buildings right at the end of the school year. They were ready to go. We are getting ready to open phase 2, which will be moving our plant operations from where we're housed currently at the district office over across Fowler. That building we're hoping to occupy in March. So it's getting really close, and they're starting to get everything dried in before the weather hits so they can finish up. And phase 3 is already under design, and we're hoping that we bid that in December. So you're going to see us continue to go out there. That third phase will be our child development building for our offices to move over into that. And then keeping on our district office footprint, we're working with the city pending approval, or final approval rather, of a warehouse for our visual and performing arts storage. We're building a warehouse there because currently we have each high school area has their set pieces, and all of the things that they do for the fantastic shows that they put on are spread out all over the district. And oftentimes what happens is, if you've ever been to a play at the Met and you see those fantastic set pieces that are done there, when they're done with that, they get destroyed because we don't have a place to store them. And then 5 years later, another school does the same play and we rebuild that whole set over again. So now we're going to have a place to warehouse and store those so that we can use them for years to come. And then the last part of that piece, which will be huge, is our transportation building. We'll go through a major modernization in its existing footprint. Once we move our plant operations building over, they're going to take over that space so that they can continue to grow, because as our district grows, so does our transportation department, and we just need to continue to keep that in our minds. And then Mr. Johnson spoke about the campus security. We are multiple phases into that. On our last bond measure, we passed phase, or with that, we instituted the phase 1, which was our catapult system, which just helps us communicate more clearly. Clovis PD and all of our first responders are also on that. So when we send a catapult alert, it goes directly to their dispatch. So we've had instances where we were getting multiple calls out, and several times before it even hit their dispatch, those first responders were on scene because they were able to get those alerts. The second part of that is our lockdown technology that partners with that catapult. So if someone on our site safety team or district safety team initiates a lockdown from either their phone or their computer, it will now send out that catapult alert. It will also automatically lock all exterior doors that are unmanned. And so we're almost done with that district-wide. That's been a lengthy process, as you can imagine, every school in the district. But like I said, we're looking to finish that up here soon. And then the third phase of that, which Mr. Johnson talked about, is the security window film. And I think we've spoke about that at a prior meeting. That is a delayed entry film. It's not bulletproof. That was not the intent. We came out, actually had Clovis PD SWAT officers come out and test that on our district campus. And so we are working through the district as well, just like what we did for the lockdown, working our way through the district to get that installed on all exterior windows. And then we also, this summer, well, Thad talked about the Gettysburg fence, so we've been meeting about that most recently a couple weeks ago, about how we move forward in getting that solution to move forward. And then this summer, we'll also be moving and starting the bulk of our new modernization projects for our current bond, because this last summer we were finishing up the Bradley Center and our other buildings, and so now we'll go into that. So you'll see many smaller modernization projects start to pop up for the next few years across the district.
Any questions for Clovis Unified? Okay. Thank you, Denver. Okay. We're going to open up the public portion. If you have any questions regarding construction projects on both entities, you may address
Brian
us.
Wilson, Bergen Avenue, Clovis. This is reference to the construction that you just put up at Herndon and Fowler. Could there have been a turn lane in going north on Fowler into your facility? Because I travel that every day a couple times, and that's a real problem with cars when they're going in. Now, it's been pretty light there, honestly, with your cars. But I just heard that they're going to add a bunch more stuff there. How much more traffic will be involved in that new spot? And are they going to be able to access straight out onto Herndon so they can kind of have an out that way? Thank you.
Denver, do you know, or is it Thad? If you guys.
We can tag team. Get turned off. We can tag team, but so we did go through a traffic study with the traffic engineer on the amount of traffic that our two buildings that we have now and the third would generate. So that's the, in short answer, the why there's not the turn lane. As far as access to Herndon, we currently have direct access to Herndon. We're not using it as much right now because it's our construction entrance and exit. But as those projects phase out, yes, we have direct Herndon access. So as people are exiting, or you can also turn into to the facility from Herndon. Keep in mind too, the plant operations building that will be there won't generate much traffic. It will be our folks get there in the morning and then leave for the day. But it's not a typical school site where you're seeing heavy flow of traffic before school, after school.
Thank you, Denver. Any other comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, we're going to go ahead and close that one. Move to item 6, the update on state meets and Clovis Unified. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. This was just an opportunity to let you know, I know after we've had questions, because we've been hosting the state meets for swim and dive. Fresno County actually holds the cross-country one, but our team, Clovis Unified, runs it at Woodward Park and has for years. And then we host the state track and field championships. And so because I think there's always a lot of questions, we do intend, I know that a few of the bids are coming, those will come open again, and we do intend to resubmit to host those events. I think it's a great partnership with our city for the revenue that it brings in. It also allows, we get to bring to our community state and national level type athletes. There's records broke both at the Clovis West Pool and at the track here all the time. And then in highlight of, I had the opportunity to go and watch Miss Prandini speak to Weldon today in her first of her book tours, and she actually referenced unsolicited what it was like to get to win 5 state championships in front of a home crowd with a community. And so I think there's great benefit for our athletes to not travel, to get to be here. And so I just wanted to just share, because I think there's been a couple of questions every time after so many years and we've hosted it, just, what's the intent? So we do intend, we don't get to decide if we win that or not, but we do intend to put in for the bid. We think it's great for the community and appreciate the partnership that you guys have always provided and the benefit that it has for our student athletes. And I say that because it takes a team of volunteers. I mean, there are hundreds of volunteers that are connected to Clovis Unified, not connected, just longtime fans that come out and give. So I know it's a huge community event. So I just wanted to kind of just let everyone know what our intent was. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Foreman. Any questions for Dr. Foreman? Go ahead, Drew.
Not really a question, more of a comment. When I was the chief of police at the airport, I was in a class for chiefs, and there was a captain from the San Mateo Sheriff's Department, and he starts telling me, oh, my nieces go to Buchanan, and we brought our kids for the state meet, and he was just talking about all the amazing things that Clovis Unified has for facilities and how they do business. And I looked at him and I said, well, yeah, I'm the mayor of Clovis too. And he goes, no, you're not. And I said, yeah, Google it. And he goes, oh, wow. I said, we have a great partnership. Obviously, this is an example of that. So you guys get a lot of props from the times I travel. Most of the time, they hate us because of football and wrestling, because they don't know who we are until we beat them badly. Years ago, and this is off the subject, but I'm originally from New Jersey, and New Jersey's a big wrestling state. That's right. Mm-hmm. And so I get a call from one of my brother's friends, class of 72, and he says, your kid wrestled at Clovis High, right? I said, yes. And he goes, they just came to New Jersey and beat all of the huge, big wrestling schools. And they were like, who are these people? And he said, I know who they are. And so having a statewide and national reputation for excellence just precedes us, and we just got to keep that going.
Thank you. Go ahead, Tiffany.
I'm pretty sure that without our facilities, we would probably excel athletically anyway, but I think it's important to recognize, and we do recognize that we couldn't have the facilities that we have without our community support, without the bonds that we pass every 4 years, it seems like, or so. And we are really grateful to you for your support of that and for our community support, because it does bring in revenue into the city. It's, it's a circular thing, and we're grateful for that support from our community.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open for the public with regards to state meets. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, seeing none, we're going to close that, and we will go to item 7. City manager, the comments from yourself or Dr. Foreman?
We'll go first?
Yeah, we'll let Scoot do.
So first off, I had the opportunity to be at TBEC last week, and what an amazing facility, an amazing event, and a great speech. Just really appreciate you guys including us in that. Also, I've really, this last almost year now being in this seat, city manager, I've really enjoyed getting to know Dr. Fulmer. So I just wanted to thank you publicly for our relationship and the time together and all the wisdom that you provide to me. And this, kind of for the general public, this relationship, this is unique. And that's something that I intend to encourage along, because it's what makes Clovis great. So thanks for letting me be a part of that, and thanks for the friendship.
Maybe I should have gone
Dr.
first.
Fulmer, yeah.
I echo those same sentiments. This is this partnership and the ability to talk and work through items, and I appreciate Mr. Hausler has really helped in our agendas around things that really do impact both of our entities and our community, and how can we work together for the betterment of our community. And so I'm grateful for that. It is unique. And I'll say the partnership is great, but you're all dedicated. You're dedicated to our schools, you're dedicated to our community and the support, as in attending, our breakfast where we got to reveal what the most recent facility looks like for a high school and junior high that was well over its capacity, and the work and willingness to help us get that across the finish line. Well, hold on, I'm always reminded, the first phase across the finish line. We're not done yet. But I just think, we are both unique when I talk in the way that when I look at other cities and other school districts, that both the city of Clovis and Clovis Unified are growing. And so I do think we're going to have to continue that partnership as we work to ensure that we are able to keep, keep this partnership and meeting the needs of those that are coming to join us, but bring them into our fold. And I think that's something that we've talked a lot about as we're growing entities. Because with development and stuff comes great opportunity. So I smile because our theme this year is where tradition inspires tomorrow. So keeping to the core of who we are in the book and what's the heart of downtown Clovis and the heart of Clovis Unified, but how do we continue to evolve to meet the growing needs of our community and ensure that we're evolving with our youth, because they're our next leaders. And so I'm just grateful for your youth council and truly everything that you continue to partner with us.
Thank you, Dr. Fulmer. Okay, we will now move to council and board comments. We'll start with the school board. And so should we just go this way? Okay. Wilma.
You know, this is actually my first joint meeting, and I want to thank the city of Clovis for hosting us. No doubt, we have seen other places, we have visited, we even may have worked there, and there's no place like home. There's no place like Clovis to have the symbiotic relationship between city and school districts, and always having our North Star being our community and our youth. So thank you.
Thank you, Wilma.
I guess I'd just like to thank you guys for having us this evening, hosting us this year. You know, I feel like I kind of get to double dip. Several of us are on the joint subcommittee, so we meet several times a year and come together. But it is always nice when your board or your council and our board and most of our board can come together and could collectively talk about the issues in the community, and even in our joint subcommittee throughout the year, come together like the e-scooters and e-bikes. I mean, that was just a couple of months ago, and you guys had already kind of hit the ground running with some of your outreach, and you shared it with us, and we were able to push it out to our parents in a different way and just really make an impact. And so it's nice that we can come together, work together, and make a difference for the people that we serve. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Yolanda. Clint?
Thank you for holding the meeting.
Yeah. Thank you. And Tiffany?
That was short. Now I'm up.
Say more.
What she said,
What she said. Yes. I just have two quick things. First, I just want to thank you for supporting your Miss Clovis. That program has impacted lives for a long time, including my own, and so it's great to see that it's still doing that. I've wondered at times if programs like that are still relevant today, and when you see an articulate young woman like that who has goals and is determined to make a difference in her community, it shows that it still is. So thank you for your support of her and that.
She'll be your employee soon, apparently.
Sounds great. And secondly, I think it was my Wilma. I'm like, Yolanda, Wilma,
Which one?
Yolanda, all of a sudden a moment. Yeah, that's right. Your dedication to your community, and I also want to add your accessibility. You are very accessible, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate this friendship, but also just individual friendship. And I know that carries out to the community as well, just seeing our community members that have come and spoken as well, that they feel comfortable doing that. So thank you for that.
Thank you, too. Okay, Matt?
Just say thanks as well. Then I haven't forgot the rec center. I know that is still, I know, and I have brought this up to the city manager on a couple different things, and we've talked about different ways of trying to figure out something, but someday we're going to figure something out there, a funding source to help with that out there. But it hasn't gotten forgotten, but as everything else, it just doesn't seem to get done real quick. So, but thank you for your partnership. We always appreciate working with you and your staff, and they do an amazing job. Norm and Denver and Barry, and you know, Barry's always accessible as well for phone calls, as is Norm and Denver and everybody else over there. So thanks for all your work. We really appreciate it.
You could give the rec center to the youth commission. They could probably solve it in a year. Just saying, potentially. Yes to what everyone else said. And I think what I know is unique is that despite our different roles, we share the same thing. As long as you share the end point, I think that's the magic, and we all want this to be a better place. How we get there is different, but we can come together around the things that really matter to Clovis, and I just think that is extraordinary. I think it's at risk every day. Our world is complicated, but if we can just hold on tight here, I think that is really, it's really such a gift to be able to do that and to do it with all of you. So thank you for what you all do. We don't get too many calls anymore about boundaries and anything because they just come tell you, which is so great for us. But we really appreciate this relationship. It is extraordinary. I just don't think anyone else does it. When we describe it to people, like, you should try it, they're like, yeah, I don't really know how to do that exactly. So anyway, grateful for all of you. And I think as long as we share what keeps us united and special, we'll stay that way. So thanks.
Drew?
I think the relationship that we have as political entities is important. I mean, there have been several times over the years where someone will reach out to me with a problem that is really in your court, and it's only a phone call away. And that works the other way too. So I've always appreciated that. Just from a reporting out standpoint, the mayor and I were in Phoenix Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of last week at a semiconductor convention. We've been working to bring in semiconductor manufacturers and support organizations for semiconductors. And we had a couple of, I think, fruitful conversations. I want to thank staff, Chad, for being there to help us out. I mean, these are important things. If we can bring in, we have a med school, we have a law school, if we can bring in some manufacturers where our techie kids have some place they can go and they don't have to go up to the Bay Area. I was invited by Lorenzo to do the welcoming at the Wall That Heals. So I did the welcoming for the city of Clovis. The night before, we were in Phoenix. My mother-in-law went with friends of the family who lost their son in 1968 in Vietnam. And this was a closure moment for them. I saw that, I saw more than a few older guys, older than me, who were in Vietnam, and they're wearing their Vietnam hat, and they were sitting on a bench or sitting on the ground contemplating things. And they went up and they found the names of people they served with who were one of the 58,000 people who didn't come back. And I spoke specifically about the young man. His name was Andy Reitz. He lived right across the street. And he was the first kid from the Stanford edition who didn't come back from Vietnam. And it was very devastating for his parents, obviously, but it was devastating for the kids in the neighborhood because he was somebody they looked up to. And so that was, I want to thank the Veterans Memorial District for getting that wall here. That was very important. And I think the people who came here got to see the beautiful parks that we have. And I think it was a good closure moment for a number of folks. That's all I have.
Okay. Diane.
Yeah, I want to echo that sentiment on having the Wall That Heals here in Clovis and thank Lorenzo and the Veterans Memorial District for helping to facilitate that. My dad was drafted into the Army and served in Vietnam 67 to 69, and I am one of many, many children who really don't know much about what my dad and so many others experienced during that time. And so the opportunity with the education portion of it and, offering closure for veterans, families, those who have loved ones that didn't come home, there's a lot of really good things that come out of being able to host something like that. And so I am grateful that that was here in Clovis. 2 other notes, I want to thank the Clovis Chamber and the city for the partnership that they have with the Wake Up Clovis Clovis breakfasts that happen every month. I attended the one last week at the invitation of our state senator Shannon Grove, who was the speaker, and it was a really great event. And I also happened to hear that the next one coming up in November, the guest speaker is our very own mayor, Vong Muanatua. So I hope that we will all get the information so that we can support not just the chamber, but also our mayor as he shares updates and that with our community. But it was a great event, and I encourage people to check that out as well. And also, it was my privilege on behalf of the mayor, who wasn't able to be there, to attend our senior center car show on Saturday and pick out a phenomenal car as the mayor's choice. But I did let them know if they didn't like it to blame you for not. Yeah, it was your fault. But it was a great event, obviously a fun thing to have in our community and a great way to get together and have a good time. Lots of people volunteered and participated in pulling it off, but it was really great out there. And then finally, I just wanted to share anyone who has been to our city council meetings over the last month know that we have had a lot of public comments about some things going on at the senior center. And I wanted to share with my colleagues and also staff that I received a call from a resident who wanted to let me know that there are other perspectives and other sides to some of the issues that have been going on at the senior center with dance classes and these different things, some personnel issues. But it was really helpful to me you kind of know that there's two sides to every story, but until you really hear that other side, it can be difficult to only hear from one side. And so that is out there, and I'm happy to share more details about that conversation, but it was very encouraging. And specifically, Bethany Berube got some good compliments out of that as being very personable and very professional. And I was able to share that with her directly, but also wanted to share that publicly, that again, as we hear from the community, it's always important to recognize that there are the other sides to it, even if we aren't always privileged to hearing it. But when we are, I want to make sure that everybody gets to hear that and know that. So I wanted to share that as well.
Thank you. And before I move forward, I want to recognize the young boys and girls. If you're Scoutmaster, just let us know what troop, and I appreciate you guys coming every time we see a troop coming to see their servants do work. It's great.
Robert Atwood, I'm the Scoutmaster at Troop 354, sponsored by the Clovis Rodeo Association.
Okay.
On some various merit badges and rank advancements that involve public meetings and city council.
Yeah.
So we're here to check you guys out.
How did we do?
Tonight you guys got a treat. You guys saw your school board and your city council.
Two badges.
So, yeah. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Robert. I just wanted to echo excellent remarks, Dr. Fulmer. And this council will go across city limits to go to anything Clovis Unified does, even if it's in Fresno. So, yeah, because we showed up. Yeah, we all showed up. And so, yeah. And so, excellent. And the building was beautiful. Ambassador Sanchez, the junior high, we got to tour it with the students. I don't know, it just looks better than any other high school already. And so that's amazing. Great job to the team, the design, everybody. Just great job on that. I wanted to report out that Mine Divers opened their offices on, I'll say Villa and Bullard. And so it's mental health services, and they accept Medi-Cal, everyone, anything. And so with regards to what Chief was saying, that need is greater, at least there's people coming in to want to provide those services. I think they had over, 100 employees?
Yeah, they brought about 100 employees to the space as well.
Yeah, and so it's huge, and so amazing. And then the Boys and Girls Club received a $300,000 check from Big Brother, Big Sister, our Boys and Girls Club, to motivate, encourage men to step up and be mentors to the young boys in our city who come to the Boys and Girls Club. And so that's sort of a challenge they gave. I know the governor asked all of us to step up as well. And so just to all of us, let's be members there. mentors there. I want to thank the Memorial District, the wall that heals. I know many of us don't know much about it, but the education component of it, just the beauty itself of the facility, I mean, the wall at night, whether it's in the morning, and for all the volunteers that came out. Lorenzo, excellent work on that. And then I appreciate you coming in, inviting both the school district and the city council to support the Hmong Day on January 3rd. I would encourage, and I will bring it up later to see if we can, at least on the city council side, provide actual support to see whatever is needed to make that event something that is welcoming to those. I think we're concentrating on the veterans, but the whole community that is here. And I know that you talk to the veterans groups to do sort of the first ever in Clovis, and that's significant because there's been a lot done in Fresno. So thank you for that, Lorenzo. I wanted to thank our Councilmember Ashbeck for her work on the facilitation team of Measure C. And sort of all that back and forth and everything we read in the papers, I think the work that you and the rest of the team did is commendable, Lynn. And I think on many of those meetings, it was your leadership that brought many of the issues to the forefront, but also gave truth and clarity to the issues. And that's important. Many times we don't get to hear that when we only hear something in the news cycle. So thank you for that, and thank you for your service. I think they have dissolved the committee, and so now it's up to the steering committee. Hopefully, end of the month, we get a final product, and then the council governments can sort of weed through that and see what we present to the rest of the county to see what we're going to do. Now, this is a parental thing for Clovis Unified. You know, I know that we are strapped for funds, but then Clovis Unified never charges for permission to go to field trips and that. But in the portal, when you sign up, it says no fee needed, but if you don't enter your credit card and sign for one ticket, it won't let you go to the end. I've had that a couple times. So, yeah, and so sometimes the principal said it's school specific, and so they forget to uncheck it. So I think there are families who want to, and then I'm like, okay, I still have to purchase it in order to go to the permission. But the school district is never, ever asking to pay, so I wanted to let you know. And then I wanted to ask, I know Drew will probably support this, is we would love to hang our flag in as many schools as possible and our city flag. Because I know, but I don't know how that goes because you have schools that are in Fresno. Yeah. And so it may make it difficult for you putting, you know, but I think we would love to, if not, then offer it to your schools that are in Clovis. Just something that I think Drew would be very happy for. I would be happy for as well. And then let me see. And my last point is, you know, we're doing a general plan update right now. And Councilmember Ashbeck has said things that I think is very profound, but true. We need to not plan 15, 20 years. We need to plan 50 years ahead. And to do that, we need to start looking sort of north of Shepherd. Where is Clovis Unified? Where do we plant the flag? Where do we make it where it's always a joint partnership? Unless you love Fresno so much, you want Fresno. But we want to be in Clovis Unified, and we want, as Willow goes up and turns to Friant, if ever, we want to be there in your district. And I think that's something that we need to always be engaged in, speak in, and sort of in unison about, because that's going to be the future, those hills and all that. It's going to have to be Clovis and not another name. And so I just want to put that down, and that we need to think like that. And I think you would agree, right? Yeah. And so as much as possible as we look at the general plan update. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for being here. I think this is special, and so appreciate it. And with that, we're adjourned. Thank you, residents, for coming tonight.